champion of
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, for the world. Introducing the challenger.
Francis on, the former interim heavyweight champion of the world, fighting out of Paris, France, Ciryl Gane. And now introducing the newly crowned undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Manchester's own Tom Aspinall.
In terms of the matchup, they're both big men, similar sizes, they're both athletic, very athletic, they're fast, the pair of them, they're both very coordinated. I think if I had to give an advantage to Ciryl, it'd be in the, maybe in the movement. Maybe he's a little slicker on the feet, but he's not as powerful as Tom, and Tom's certainly slick.
I just think the wrestling and the grappling and the speed of Tom Aspinall, he's a heavyweight, but he doesn't move like a natural heavyweight. Like, he has really good footwork, really fast. Obviously, he's strong and powerful. I think Tom Aspinall right now, I just don't see any, somebody might surprise me, but right now I just don't see anybody that would really be a good matchup for Tom Aspinall.
And Tom is not a hated guy anywhere. Like, Tom is just a nice guy. He's a handsome guy. His father's in his corner. Tom's got a family, which he's proud of. Like, Tom is a regular guy. He's just really good at whipping people's ass. They were booing him. And they were booing him, which was not a commentary on Tom. I think it hurt his feelings a little bit. I think it did affect Tom, but Tom misunderstood. They weren't booing him. Booing him was their way of cheering for Ciryl. Ciryl is a very big deal in French MMA, and Ciryl checks a lot of the same boxes that Tom does. He's a very handsome guy. He's a very successful guy. From all accounts, he treats people appropriately. And what would happen if Ciryl wins? That's really the problem with this fight. And I'm curious if that risk is big enough to take. I mean, if Ciryl gets the jump on Tom, Monday morning does not come out that Ciryl Gane is the greatest heavyweight in the world. Monday morning headlines will recognize that Jon Jones is the greatest heavyweight in the world. And it will be a very peculiar spot of if Jon raises his hand and is willing to come back. Will they put him in there with Ciryl? From a sporting aspect, we don't need to see that fight. From a purely competitive, what would happen, we do not need to hold that fight. From a rankings and paying a respect to the integrity of the rankings, there's no other fight that you can make. From a business standpoint, we don't need to see that fight. From a live gate, from a pay-per-view, from a piece of commerce. But what happens if...
The stage is set for UFC 321, where reigning champion Tom Aspinall, age 32, with 15 wins, 3 losses, defends the undisputed heavyweight title against former interim champ Ciryl Gane, age 35, with 13 wins and 2 losses. Ciryl Gane has lost 2 title fights already to Francis Ngannou and Jon Jones, but this time he says he's ready. In this video, we break down the tactics, strengths, vulnerabilities, and the keys to victory Ciryl Gane has. Tom Aspinall was elevated to undisputed champion after Jon Jones' retirement. Ciryl Gane, meanwhile, is making his 3rd attempt at undisputed gold. He previously challenged Ngannou in UFC 270 and Jones UFC 285, but both came up short. His most recent fight was a controversial split decision win over Alexander Volkov in December. Many believed Volkov deserved the nod. There's an entertainment. Sometimes life is a little bit strange. People think that you've never worked a team behind me. We've worked on our ground game. This time I can show it. That willingness to confront criticism is a psychological advantage heading into this fight. In movement. This is his bread and butter. Gane is arguably the most technical, mobile striker in the heavyweight division. He must stay on the outside, use lateral movement, footwork, feints, jabs, kicks and counters to avoid the heavy, stationary engagements where Aspinall's power and finishing ability lie. He needs to frustrate Aspinall, drawing him into making mistakes, overextensions and wild entries. Against heavy hitters like Ngannou and Lewis, Gane's movement has carried him. He's shown he can survive against power when he uses distance. If Gane can keep the fight in striking range on his terms, he diminishes Aspinall's ability to land bombs and he forces Aspinall to adjust. Now let's look at grappling defense, transitions and takedown recovery. Historically, Gane's ground game, grappling, has been a vulnerability. He doesn't need to out-wrestle Aspinall, but he does need solid takedown defense, clean scrambling and the ability to get back to his feet quickly. He must avoid long spells on bottom, avoid being pinned or dominated, and force resets. In his pre-fight comments, Gane insists he and coach Fernand Lopez have worked heavily on his grappling and ground game. If Aspinall drags him down, Gane's goal is to make it painful, push elbows, defend submissions, and find posture to escape. If Gane can neutralize Aspinall's ground attack, he forces the champion to fight in uncomfortable territory, range striking, which favors the challenger. Now let's look at championship rounds, durability and experience. Gane has never been stopped in his professional MMA career. That speaks to his durability under pressure. He's gone the distance in title fights. He knows what a 5-round championship pace feels like. Aspinall, while explosive and dangerous early, has not yet deeply proven himself in extended high-pressure fights. The mental game also plays a role. Gane enters battle with something to prove, while Aspinall has the burden of defending expectations. If Gane survives the first onslaught, drags the fight into the mid or late rounds, fatigue, lapses and errors may favor the most patient, defensive counter-fighter. To argue that Gane wins can be mitigated. So let's look at power and explosiveness. Aspinall is a knockout artist with speed and aggression, but in chasing power, fighters often overcommit. If Gane is sharp with counters and pivots, Aspinall's shots may miss or get timed. The key, neutralize the burst but not standing square, not being stationary. Now let's look at wrestling ground attack. Yes, Aspinall is dangerous on the ground. He could take Gane down and impose top control. But if Gane's grappling improvements are real and his scrambling is crisp, the threat becomes manageable. Gane's objective is defensive excellence, not necessarily offensive grappling dominance. Speed and volume. Aspinall throws heavy, fast strikes. Gane's counters have to be sharper, but Gane's style is built for that. His accuracy and timing are assets. If Aspinall tries to overwhelm instead of setting up, Gane can intercept or sidestep. Psychological pressure. Aspinall is the favorite with high expectations. The pressure to never lose as undisputed champ may weigh on him. In contrast, Gane has fewer illusions to protect. He can be the underdog with room to surprise. So now let's look at the potential risks and what Gane, the keys he must manage. Getting reckless and pressured. If Aspinall bullies forward and cuts off the cage, Gane could get trapped in clinch or corners. Fatigue. If pressured early, if he uses too much movement too early, the gas tank could suffer. Let's look at takedown chains and ground control. If Aspinall blends wrestling and ground domination smartly, even good defense may not suffice. Heavy shots in transitional moments as exchanges shift between striking and grappling. Aspinall may land big during entries. Mental edge slipping. If Gane's confidence shakes under heavy or early adversity, he must remain composed. And Gane's success depends on discipline, patience, and executing his game plan under fire. So, this is how we at Luxurytainment see the fights unfolding round by round in Gane's favour. So round 1 and 2, Gane uses movement, jabs, feints and light kicks to feel out Aspinall. Avoid big engagements, keep the volume moderate, test takedown defence. Rounds 3 and 4, if Gane is confident in his grappling defence, he may press more. He starts picking moments, countering, aggression, pushing dominance on the feet. Round 5, if it reaches this point, Gane's durability and cardio come into play. Aspinall may be gasping or overextending. Gane seizes openings and finishes strong or leaves a convincing impression for judges. The sweet spot, mid to deep portions of the fight where Aspinall's early explosiveness has faded and where Gane's more measured style can shine. So to summarize, Aspinall is a heavy favourite with the bookies, as analysts point to Aspinall's speed, power and finishing ability as major advantages. But critics note Gane's takedown defence deficiency, around 43%, as a liability. Some voices in MMA media feel Gane's last win over Volkov was undeserved, adding pressure and controversy. On the flip side, Gane's strategic improvements, his vocal confidence and his championship experience give him momentum in the narrative build. So guys, in short, Ciryl Gane's path to victory lies in his striking mastery, movement, October 25th, but he must stay disciplined and composed under heavy fire. This is a defining moment for both fighters. For Aspinall, it's the first true test of his reign. For Gane, it's the chance to silence doubters and finally claim gold. So guys, drop your predictions below on who wins and how. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for the full fight coverage and post-fight breakdowns here at Luxurytainment.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
I'm the guy, I'm the kicker!